Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I'm Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have...
Lieutenant Ignis Harkon.
Maximus Shans.
Ataraxia Kalian.
And Buster Bilgewater.
An expedition we have gone on, not to anywhere new, but to Mancatcher Cove to reclaim the loot that is so rightfully theirs. Sails, wood, gems, artifacts, paintings, all of this led by the pseudo-captain Wesley, which somebody in the party, Captain's Council, put in charge, and who immediately started abusing their power with some of the other folks. But not everybody joined in on this, as Ignis actually held back and found herself falling into the deep, deep abyss below. As she sunk to the deep abyss below, even with magical aid, finding the water to be not oxygenated, and trying to find the claw that she threw, or that was thrown into the water, she had to abandon her search, giving herself time to reflect, to think, and to just see what was going to happen, especially with her relationship with Max. Back on the Satyr's song, we saw a conversation between Buster, knowing more about him as Ataraxia took note and soaked it all in. And then Ignis coming to Max and sharing her perspective and history. We saw our players wrapping this leg of their adventure up, heading into the new leg of their adventure towards the Port of Ollo. And that is where we jump in this week on I Cast Fireball. So, heading northwest of your current location, not too far from Mancatcher Cove here, you are heading towards the Port of Ollo. Should take about 2 days. Gives you a brief time to reflect, to go through the loot, and to prepare yourself.
I have a list.
You have a list for those 2 days of things that you'd like to accomplish?
No, specifically, as soon as we're back with the loot, I present a list to Ataraxia with detailed instructions on a day-to-day agenda for those 5 doofuses. Essentially, it has a very strict curfew and regimen of them rotating apprenticeship between Daynata, Muscles, the Ballista guys, and Sandara on leadership. Yeah, essentially that each of them will spend a week apprenticing each of them, learning about what they do. So that, and then when they're not doing that, they're squabbing the deck. They're like they're taking care of the deck and doing whatever else is needed and learning how to fight and whatnot. So that's, I don't want them slacking off anymore and being goofballs on the ship. They have to start carrying their weight. And I present it to Ataraxia and just go, can we please have Sandara put these guys to work?
I just cut forward to, and Lefroy, you get spoon sludge slug soup this week.
That's all. That's all. I just had to.
Yeah.
That's been stirring with me ever since we created those guys.
Oh, Capitan, please no. Please not spoon sludge slug soup. No, not again. I cannot handle this idiocy that comes from this boy.
Remember that time when we canonically named one of our NPCs Spoon Sludge Slugs?
He's trying to be a cool pirate, and he's not. He's just an idiot.
And I want to make it clear. I tell Sandara, let these 5 know that if any of them doesn't participate in their given task, it doesn't adhere to the schedule, that I'm starting a Deadpool amongst the ship about who's going to be the next ballad on the banner next to Glenlevitt.
Buster, killing those eggs really changed him.
Yeah. Sandara, she just kind of gives a deep sigh with not a troubled face, but like a resigned face of like, I believe these fellow here, these boys, they need a little bit of motivation to keep to their task, especially that idiot Spoon Sludge Slug Soup. Who comes up with a ridiculous name as that?
Only a fool would make up that kind of name.
Only an idiotic one, to be sure. Aye, I'd be telling her. And as she's saying that, she goes, "Oi, Blood Twist! Use both your arms!" And you see Blood Twist, who's got just lackadaisically swabbing the deck or scrubbing the deck. He looks over and just starts scrubbing relentlessly as you and her are just staring him down. Yes, these 5 poor boys. Maybe this will do them some good. And Danny Boy, the silent one, just taking it all in as well. I just find Danny Boy hilarious how he's the silent one. Anyway.
Is he up in the crow's nest with Muscles? The two of them just standing there not talking.
Yep.
Their pipes are not calling, that's for sure.
Yep. And his hair's just waving in the breeze, Danny Boy there. No,
All right.
brilliant.
Apologies for the sidetrack. I just had to get that cleared up.
The people have been asking, Josh, so I'm glad Buster delivered all these 5 boys.
We need more Spoon Sludge content.
Wonderful. So these 2 days pass without issue as you come to the Port of Ollo.
Ignis needs to apologize to Buster before we can get to Ollo.
What?
We still have some conflict that I feel like she needs to apologize to Buster still.
Some more RPN, baby!
Baby!
All right.
Character development. I do have a small task.
See, we have stuff to do before we get to Ollo.
It's rare that we're on the sea traveling between places. We got things to do while we're doing that.
It's a small task. It's not like an RP moment. It's a very small task.
Well, Ignis, maybe after 24 hours on the sea, we find maybe Max has just gotten some food from the chef here. Now, you'll recall, this is not Fish Guts, as Fish Guts stayed behind.
Oh, meal work is one of the duties also. One of the 5 of them will be assisting the ship cook.
And this is Blood Twist. As you recall, he worked at a dessert shop, and he made croissants that were biscuits, right? So, here we go. It is...
That is correct, yes.
Oh, gosh. Where is the name?
Blood Twist Shimmer Cream?
No, I'm trying... The name of the... from Knuckles' crew that joined everybody.
Oh, we got Espio the Chameleon, Vector the Crocodile, and Charmy B.
It's Vector! There it is! Vector the Croc. He's a lizard folk. And he is in charge of the meals as the cook right now, as the chef. And he is slowly, like, not hissing, but he definitely has a noise that is not human underneath his breath as Blood Twist is trying to stir the stew and keeps muttering under his breath, "This idiot human." So yes, as you get your food, Ignis, I imagine you find Max and you approach him. Either...
I need to talk to Buster. Not Max.
Buster!
I can be eating too, though.
That's
I don't
what I
mind
meant.
eating.
Buster. Buster.
So after her talk with Max and realizing that sharing actually seemed to repair some of their relationship and repair some of their rapport, Max is actually talking to Ignis again, and they've reignited their Aquan and Celestial lessons, and recognizing that sharing somehow kind of must have done that because that's the only thing that she did. She has never had to have a relationship that she needed to repair before. As she gets her food and she looks across the crew, she sees at one end of the table Buster sitting and eating. Not alone, but not...
Definitely alone.
Yeah. She sees Buster sitting alone. So she goes over and she'll sit down and put her food down and quietly will start eating, trying to come up with something to say, and eventually she puts her spoon down and awkwardly, Did you choose the name Bilgewater? That seems like a odd family name for farmers. You mortals receive their names from their parents, yes?
Yeah, we do. Us mortals do. And this is one of those rare moments where Buster doesn't have his scarf on him, so he's just wearing his kind of loose, pirate blouse and eating his food. And he's so he probably looks more scraggly and kind of, wizardly in this state, when he's usually so covered because he doesn't have his hat on either. So it's just, Buster Bunny. He does have an actual kind of chokes on his food a bit when you just ask him that. Says, no. Listen, my given name is Bartholomew Brownfur, which makes more sense, I suppose, when you consider where I'm from. But Buster Bilgewater's my first captain didn't care to learn names, and I was more or less the cabin boy. I cleaned things and stuff, and the ship we had a terrible bend in it and just would constantly get water. And so he was constantly telling me to, bucket the water off the bilge. You, Buster. And he would just call me Buster. He would just say, hey, you, Buster, get a bucket, water on the bilge. And so I'd have to bucket the water off. And eventually he just started saying, Buster, bilge, water. And I'm not going to lie, everyone started thinking that was my name. So as a young kid on a boat, I just didn't fight it. I don't know, it kind of turned into what it is. So that's, I don't know if you're looking for more of a story than that, but that's all, really.
So you kept it just because now you tell everybody that instead of going back to the name your parents gave you?
It was my first ship. I mean, those were the first crew. I made a lot of friends on that boat. But I grew fond of the name. It was it felt like something I'd earned.
She kind of nods thoughtfully, and she'll pick up her spoon and kind of stir her stew a little bit in front of her thoughtfully. I didn't have a name till after my wings manifested. Ignis means fire, and Halcón means hawk. And she'll do her celestial revelation as her spectral wings explode with light out behind her. And she'll kind of flap them once. And her bright red hair and her light skin almost glow like her wings do. They have gray along the tops, and then they fade down into this almost see-through spectral red. And Buster often forgets that she's a celestial being.
Yes.
But in this moment, her divinity is undeniable. She looks celestial.
Ignis, as you do that, Jorge Donada goes, oh, jeez. Excuse me.
Donada, who's on helm? Who's on helm right now?
And, as your wings pop out.
Get to the helm. You didn't leave the kid up there, did you? He's supposed to be learning from you. You're supposed to be...
He's... grabs his plate of stew and just bolts out of there and just back to the helm.
Ignis watches this interaction between them, and then she just looks sadly back down at her stew. So she has this glow and this celestial feeling to her, but her countenance is drawn, and you can tell that she's thinking after watching you interact with Donata. And quietly she'll say, Ignis Halcón is not a name. It's a description. I matured on an island sanctified for the angels of Rolterra. I knew how to be an angel, but I find myself struggling to be mortal. As she gestures to Donata as he'd walked away. Do you have any idea what it's like to see everyone around you do something so naturally? I thought I knew what it meant to be mortal, but ever since I left the island, all I feel is confusion and anger. I was so good at being a soldier, but I am so bad at being mortal. And she looks off at and kind of scans the crew of all these men around eating.
Buster has a moment where when she starts to go into it, he has a moment where he looks a little put off, he's I just eaten my food and now now this is happening.
That trauma dumping.
But once he realizes like what's going on, it's a blip. You know what I mean? Like it's a knee-jerk old Buster reaction. And then as he realizes she's being, like vulnerable like this, he clues in, sets his food down, pushes it aside. Look, Ignis, you don't owe me anything, right? Like you don't owe me or anybody anything. I appreciate you sharing about what you are. It's to be completely honest, it's incredible, almost unbelievable, but I can't not, because here you are. Nobody's good at being mortal. That's the game. We all suck at it, and anybody who thinks that they don't is lying to you or trying to sell something. We're all bad at this and muddling our way through it. That's honestly a very mortal thing to do. And as far as I'm concerned, listen, I've worked with a lot of people, and you're definitely in the top 3 people I've ever worked with. So he looks her in the eye, and he's trying to be as sincere as he can. I think you're doing fine.
Then why does everybody else seem to work together so well? Why does everyone else seem to get something that I just don't understand? Look at him. And she'll gesture to the crew. Everyone else here seems to have a purpose, a mission, something to do, something... It just feels like everyone else knows something that I don't.
What were you doing before you were captured?
I was a soldier. Well, I was training soldiers.
So, Harrigan caught you while you were training soldiers?
Oh. She looks down. No, I was on a mission, and we were ambushed, and I was kidnapped by slavers and traded to Harrigan's crew.
Okay. What was your mission, if I can ask?
We were on the mainland trying to restore a temple that had been burned down by a local town. They had burned down one of the temples of Rotera, so the army had sent in a squad of angels to... What's the mortal way to say this? To take care of the town?
How does Rotera treat people who failed their mission? Listen, I say listen, you don't have to tell me anything. I've worked for some really mean captains. Some that don't really care for you to learn on the job. Just want you to do the job, and if you don't, then you're dead weight. That's all I'm asking.
Ignis will unlace and remove the bracers from her arms and show you her forearms that are just riddled with various lengths of scars. Some of them are small and have healed really nicely with thin white lines, and other ones have just been gashed in and are dark and healed poorly and have left trails along her arms.
Jeez. He puts his hand, like, unthinkingly goes to his arm that you cut. And he just says, he goes, look, I eat my lunches alone, right? Every day. I don't like people sitting with me. I don't like being around people for the most part. Not that I don't like people, I just enjoy being alone. What am I trying to say? I want to be on this ship. I want to be with these people. And I don't know why, but Ataraxia is our captain. And he's a really good captain. And there's something here worth being a part of. I think you know that. From Rickety Hake to Goat's Head to the Rock, you could have left. You could have gone back, got your scars, supplicated yourself or whatever you need to do. But you haven't. You're still here, Iggy. I'm still here. I don't know that I fully understand why, but I can't figure out a better place to be right now. And I don't know. Well, maybe we'll figure it out together. You, me, Max, and the Cap.
You asked me what happens if someone fails, Rotera. We're punished. And I think that's why I'm here. I think this is punishment. It's why I'm stuck here. I'm with mortals. I'm without my temple. I'm without my god. And she's made Ataraxia captain. What else but hell could this be?
You could still be with Harrigan.
She nods, and shrugs, yeah, you're right. I'm clearly supposed to learn something, and I just can't seem to learn it. I keep going through these trials, and I keep coming out the other side, unforgiven.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ignis. I wish I had answers for you. Thank you for telling me all that. I don't know. I'm not a man with answers. But I'm here for you, you know? If I'm at the helm, you're welcome. I like having you around. You're good company. Quiet most of the time, which is nice. You're dependable, reliable. I can't think honestly of anybody else on this ship I'd rather have my back in a tough situation. If this is hell, dang, we hit the jackpot on hells. I'll take it.
Ignis thinks through everything that he has said, and slowly the wings extend, and then they, with a small sound, will burst into just shimmer of light as it fades, and the glow will fade from her skin and from her hair. Do you trust me, Buster?
As much as I trust anybody, I think.
The last time someone trusted me, ended up dead. In the army, you have your platoon and your squad and your fellow soldiers, and you're there to do a job, and you know they're going to do it, but the trust, it's very mortal.
It is, yeah. So's breaking it. And, I don't need you to do something, be something. I like what you are, Ignis. I'm not I appreciate you sharing all this, but really, we're good. You and me. He tries to look her in the eye and goes, we're peachy.
You see, she'll almost subconsciously stroke a specific scar along the back of her arm, and then she'll nod and then put her bracers back on. I apologize for interrupting your lunch. I'll leave you to it, helmsman.
Honestly, it's not great. I miss fish skets. It was a welcome interruption, really.
I'll let the captain know about your preference of our cook.
And listen, there'll be an open spot for you if you ever want to sit and eat next to me, quietly.
She'll nod a thanks. We're good?
Right as rain.
She'll pick up her bowl and dump the whole thing in the trash on her way out.
You see Blood Twist go,
Oh, I was real hard.
Oh, it's so fun.
oh. And Vector going,
This is why I told you not to add the tomatoes first. Do it. Yeah.
and he just smacks the back of his head.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry there, Vector.
And Buster returns to quietly eating.
As Buster goes back to eating on his own, reflecting on these things that have been discussed, Max, you have something that you'd like to accomplish, yes?
Yes, two things.
Maybe not at this time, but during this time period.
Yeah, during the time period. Number one, Max is actually at some point when most people are sleeping, when there's kind of a lull because he's on the watch and he can take the night watch when most are sleeping. He is going to actually carve something into the ship. Do I need to roll anything for that, or can I just do that? It's a phrase, a saying he's carving into the ship.
Depends what you'd like to carve. Is it a novel, or is it just like a word or two?
No, it's literally just like it's maybe like it's a phrase. It's 6 words, like 6 to 8 words.
You can spend enough time to do it without needing to roll.
Okay.
You do at this point see Danny Boy walk up behind your soldier. These 5 people are now heavily integrated into not only the captain's council, but into just the odd hours and workings of the ship on Ataraxia's order here. So Danny Boy, silent, just stands over your shoulder. And are you down below? Sorry,
I'm on the main deck. I'm on the main deck of the ship.
You're on the main deck,
Yep.
and you're carving into a freeboard or the deck of the ship
I am
itself.
carving into the wheel,
The wheel.
the helm wheel.
Then Danny Boy wouldn't be there, so you have your privacy among yourself there.
I will carve it, the saying, and then just kind of, go about my watch. And what's going to end up happening eventually is Buster will probably, as he is the helmsman, will walk up to the helm, and he will see Max has finally fulfilled his promise somewhat. And at the top of the helm, it says in as best letters as he could, Tim. And on the bottom of the helm, it says, Gone before the song. As he asked him to put that in the ship a long time ago, and Max felt it was something to not just stamp into the mast, but to make it a little bit more of a permanent memory.
That was the first thing you'd like to accomplish, Max.
Yes, that's the first thing. Second thing is Max is going to go to the captain.
Captain,
That's me.
I would like the deck back.
Oh. That deck. Okay. There's a lot of decks on a ship, but you're probably talking about the one that you gave to me. Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you can trust yourself with it again?
I do.
I mean, presumably you're asking me about it.
Yes, I feel... I don't know the direction I might go with it, but I think I have more of a filter of how to use it.
Right on. Yeah, I can go grab that for you. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do it at a time when it is inconspicuous. So at some point in the near future, I will return the deck to you after I've had a chance to grab it.
Yes, at your will.
Right on.
Oh, how are you doing?
Honestly, a little bit,
Blissful?
unconfident.
Really?
Max is just takes a step back because he was
Drop the
doing a
anchor.
joke.
What's
He's
going
like,
on?
blissful? And then he's like,
Really?
Yeah, I'm thinking back to, that whole shtick down there under the water tunnels and everything. I wasn't really pulling my weight during the investigation, during the fight. I was really distracted by just everything going on. I mean, you guys are my best friends, and I can tell that things are rough between you. And if I was a good captain, I'd be able to know how to make things smoother. So I've just been really distracted by that.
I'm sorry for that. To let you know, I think things are smoothing out between some of us. I don't know. I feel like, as a ship has, storms occur, toss it to and fro. The next day you might get the calmest weather you've ever seen. I think really it's only your job to make sure we're steering in the right direction.
And do you think we're going in a good direction?
Yes. I think we're going in a direction that's letting us find out who we truly are. No one taught you how to be a captain, and I don't think we really know how to be a captain. But a captain doesn't need to solve all the crew's problems. He needs to make sure that the crew feels safe enough to solve their own, or to make sure they can solve it with each other.
Okay. That's cool.
Does that make any sense?
I think it does.
And remember, we are your council. So, you should feel the ability to ask us for counsel.
Will do. Okay.
You're not alone.
Oh. It's nice to be reassured of that.
We should We should have done it more often for you.
Well, I mean, this place is a lot less lonely than an orphanage, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're finding our melody, as it were.
That we are. Everybody puts a little piece of their own music, and next thing you know, we got a symphony going on.
What's that?
Oh, dude. If we ever make it back to, like, Absalom, we should go to one of the concert halls.
What's that?
Just get, like... Oh, dude. You get, like, 100 people playing a bunch of different instruments all on one stage.
Oh.
It's insane. It's so cool.
Are they all, like, just playing their own song and it's just like a cacophony?
No, dude. They've got one conductor up at the front who's guiding all of them to make the music blend together so it makes one big song that is more impactful than, like, any individual group of people could make on their own.
Like a captain.
Oh.
Well done. Well done.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now we definitely, if we were to make it back to Absalom, we gotta go to a concert.
Sure, I'm psyched, man. Psyched for it.
Nice. Max, what's your rating of Vector's cooking ability?
I'll be honest. I've kind of been eating my own stash. Every time I went in there,
Oh.
it was just like, oh no. Oh no. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah, I can tell that Vector has never seen a beefy 5-layer burrito in his
I
entire
don't think
life.
he knows what a tomato does.
We should probably put somebody else in charge of cooking.
Yeah, that might be a good call. Good call.
All right. I'm going to get that deck for you at some point.
Of course, at your will.
Yes.
Danny boy, come on.
I'll just
Danny Boy, who's been standing there within earshot, maybe not within earshot for most of this conversation, runs after Max to continue on his duty as Max continues to discuss the important needs of maintenance of the ballista and what to look out for on not the watchtower, the crow's nest. So, it's at this point that the 2 days have passed and we go into the port of Ollo. Josh, you probably could roll your divination dice here, as I imagine we'll be spending some time here in the port. As it's early morning, but not too early, we have the port coming within sight.
I rolled a 4 and a nat 20. For divination,
This
that's
should be
crazy.
good.
Oh, it's awesome.
Now, as your ship rounds the final crag of reef-studded coastline, the port of Ollo rises like a barnacled fortress from the sea before you. You take in the landscape, and it's actually quite beautiful. Buster, the only person having been here previously, is able to look to the rest of the crew, the captain's council, and see the wonder that comes across their face or the nonchalance that they try to pull off as they take in this port. Buster, yes.
Could I be standing next to Sandara as we're approaching?
Yes, you can.
So just like really under my breath, I'm just going to try and have a very brief conversation with Sandara. You ever been to Ollo?
Oh, I've been to Ollo once or twice, yes.
Listen, when we mutinied, you're young. I kind of figured you were, just another prisoner like the rest of us. You've proven to be annoyingly well informed about the ongoings of the Shackles.
She looks to you, turns to you with a coy smile on her face and be like,
"'Tis being my best quality, I would say."
This is like because he half doesn't believe that she would have a straight answer for this, but he looks at her and he just goes, "You don't know anything about me, do you?"
As she had turned the face forward as the port of Ollo, she glances to the left, the side of her eyes, looks at you, and for an extended beat, and then just a slow smile starts to creep across her face, and she looks back forward and continues to not say anything.
And he won't say anything else either. He doesn't want to pry any further. That's as much as he cares to know.
Now, as you turn again your attention back to the Port of Ollo, the rest of the Captain's Council from this port is almost built into a mountain. But when I say that, not directly like cut in like you might expect some other civilizations, it just looks to be a part of this naturally sloping landscape that seems to go up towards the mountainside. And as you look at the top, you can see lush forest up there. And you think maybe it's not so much of a mountain as it is a hill, because a mountain that tall clearly would not be able to support such lush greenery up there, would it? Well, regardless of that, it almost seems to naturally cascade into that port city below. The tops of the city seem to have been integrated into the rocks, either as mansions themselves or as fortresses, with massive flags flying from above, and you can see even from this far distance adornments for battle. Now, further down the mountainside, you see that the city seems to get more congested, but still buzzing with life. And that buzzing, as you can see, is growing the further down you go. The residents in this middle section, they get a little bit more simple, not mansion-like, however, but they're still noticeable from this far out. And it continues to get more noticeable as your eyes reach the shoreline, where this is the most congestion. Your eyes at this point are pulled away from these residences, especially those with looking glasses. You look up and you can see the shoreline, which is covered with people, sounds, and Ataraxia, I imagine, as you look through your far glass here, you can see stalls adorning the sand and the shoreline here. This is the island's marketplace. It is huge, as this shoreline is maybe 3/4 of a mile long. Almost all of it seems to be with hustle and bustle of shops, people, some sort of performance, even some mercenary type people keeping watch, chasing after maybe a young pickpocket that got caught a little too early in his scam. The marketplace spans this distance, and you see all manner of individuals here. There are elves, humans, orcs. You even see a few dragonborn scattered about. You see a few half-dragons here as well, with their tails sticking out behind their clothing. And it implies that you might find more as you continue to explore the marketplace on the shoreline itself. There is a lot of action happening here, but your attention is drawn away almost immediately as you see a vessel start to approach your pirate ship here. This vessel is raising a flag, and this flag has a very distinct golden L etched into it. And this L would be enough indication for you to say they are requesting for you to stop, but you hear a loud booming voice. And this voice says, "Incoming vessel, please pause your activities and allow us to temporarily board you."
All right, I command the people to go about their duties, pull up the sails, get ourselves nice and stopped. And I turn to the lieutenant and say, all right, it's time for some branding. You know what? We're at a new place. Is there anything higher than lieutenant?
Captain?
First lieutenant.
Okay.
First
mate,
mate, maybe.
Oh,
First mate.
I thought lieutenant was like right up there at the top. What's up at the top?
A general?
Commander.
Commander?
General? Okay.
General,
Sure, Buster.
commander.
Thank you for your input.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, he's standing. We're at the wheel, right? He's right there.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And when the vessel gets close enough to, I guess who's approaching us from the other vessel?
Yes, you can see this vessel. It is a full pirate ship itself. As they are approaching, you see the words across the side of the ship. The Scourge of Shallows seems to be the name of this ship. It is a smaller ship, not too much smaller than yours, but it looks like it's fast approaching you. There seems to be jagged hull plating that seems to be cannibalized from other shipwrecked vessels or maybe even sunken vessels that is attached to theirs, either to enhance in the ramming speed or damage, or just protective plating on the side from any incoming fire. This patchwork and menacing look is topped with the front, the bow figurehead being a carved shark maw. And as it gets closer, you realize real teeth from monsters all across Galarian.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Max perks up.
Max, in particular, you see a few teeth here that really interest you, or at least go, ooh, okay.
I want that.
Not only are there a number from just giant sharks, there's one. What's your history score? Or what's your, what plus do you have to history?
I got a -1.
Oh, wait, it wouldn't be history, would it? It would be...
Survival?
Yeah, it would be
Like-
survival.
I got a 6 for survival.
Got a 6? There is a dragon turtle tooth in this maw here.
Holy
which
crap.
is huge and makes you go, oh, if they really took down a dragon turtle, this crew is business here. They mean business, at least. And then you see a couple others. I'll have you roll a survival check, actually, right here to see if you recognize some of these other ones.
First roll of the game. Oh, that's not good. That's going to be a 9.
There are some needle-like, very fine, translucent teeth that you'd think would shatter because they look like glass, but there appear to be about a dozen of them, all clumped together, forming almost the same width as a normal tooth, but you can't recognize what they are. And it's at this point that the captain of the Scourge of Shallows comes onto the deck and pulls up right beside you. They take some rope and they actually toss it over, not threateningly, just being like, all right, here you go, and wait for your crew to grab them and just to pull the ships a little bit close together as each of you have slowed to this discussion that you're having.
Would I know that this is like basic protocol for ships approaching?
This is basic
port?
protocol. In fact, Buster, you know that all incoming ships are stopped by a patrolman because the Port of Ollo is one of the largest in this area of the Shackles. So, as pirates, it would be ideal to take this port over if possible because of all the goods, the resources, and
It would be crazy hard, I imagine.
Crazy hard. So hence the diligence of the current leadership here of the Port of Ollo. So if there are any like questions, you can just say, if you're willing to give up that you've been here before, you can say, this is pretty standard, guys.
I'll try and push Sandara to give the information. Like, Sandara, you know what these guys are doing?
Oh, aye, Captain.
Captain.
Not me. Nope. Buster.
Oh, it be no fine here. I mean, Buster, you'll be asking the question, which I find a bit surprising. But yes, this be a pretty standard here. She looks at you, Ataraxia. Pretty standard protocol here. Just trying to figure out our whereabouts, what we'd be trying to do here.
All right. And I turn to the rest of the crew and say, time for branding. And I throw up the Satyr horn's little prestidigitation lightning. And when the other captain is close enough to be in earshot, I step forward and say, greetings, I am Captain Ataraxia of the Satyr Song. And in an attempt to embellish our branding a little bit, I gesture to the rest of the council and say, and joining me is our head arcanist, our master of hunts, and our general of arms.
Ooh. Go ahead and roll a performance check.
Buster straightens up his
Max
scarf.
is like looking around like,
Who's
Us?
Who the heck? Roll a performance check, Ataraxia.
All right.
I love that.
Well, that's going to be a luck point for sure. All right, that is a 23.
Yeah.
23. As you announce the captain's council here, Sandara taking a polite step backward, of course, not being part of the council, but being here ready with her hand on the sword, just softly on the sword, right? Like she nonchalantly does. So nobody has approached to board your boat. They are just talking from the side there. and a pretty short and a little stout person walks over to the edge and has a little bit of like a loose open shirt, which isn't very attractive on this person. And they have like a soul patch at the bottom, and it's bright blonde, but a full head of blonde hair that is just straight down. And they say, oh hey, yeah. Pleasure to meet you. Captain Ataraxia. My name is Captain Rig Harlow. A lot of people call me Ratline.
Wow.
Oh no.
It's
Wow. What a name for this man.
it's I'm gonna roll to see if he's actually heard of you.
Our infamy.
When you're talking about his hair, is it kind of like the hair of the original animated He-Man?
Yeah, like a bowl
You're
cut.
talking about that kind of
And like,
Bowl cut.
you know that
Not quite as like
Oh.
poofy, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit less attractive than that.
less attractive
So-
than the original He-Man? That's hard.
I was thinking maybe a little bit more Kurt Cobain for this guy. But
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. No, not as long as Kurt Cobain. Sorry. Yeah, but definitely. Maybe he's trying to grow it out to be that long, but he's just like, Captain.
I love this guy.
Welcome to the Port of Ollo. I've heard of you and the Satyr song, and I've heard good tales from some of the travelers that come here.
okay, I may have heard of you. Are you the lead singer of the band Ratline?
Well, I mean, that's not really what I'm known for. I'm known for being a ruthless and a fast ambush pirate ship here in the depths. But I do tend to dabble a little bit with the pipes. You know,
Shredding the waves and shredding the pipes. Am I right?
Wow.
shredding the pipes,
Oh,
shredding the
no,
pipes.
it's
Yep.
a barred
and
off.
you can see right next to her is right next to him is his first mate is just straight orc in just straight black and even has like some black makeup on their lips and just standing there not saying anything but just also part of this conversation. Hey, what brings your ship to the Port of Ollo?
Well, we have just come into possession of a great deal of plunder, and we are looking to inject a little bit of life into your economy.
Oh, right on. Yeah, it's delicious, man. It's pretty good, and we, as the port, we'd really appreciate you coming in and seeing what we have to offer. I have to say, what malicious intent are you bringing along with you, though?
Malicious intent? I mean,
Yeah, man.
I was so maybe like kind of on the down low, and I look back at Sandara and I kind of lean and I was like, I was told that not many people would want to hear about this, but I personally am looking for the Brine Banshee.
Oh, Brian Banshee, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know if that
well,
counts as malicious intent, but I was told that not many people would enjoy hearing about it. I'm not sure if you're one of those people who wouldn't enjoy hearing about it, but you seem pretty chill, so I thought I might as well try.
I mean, no. I mean, I don't enjoy that name at all. I mean, that's. Real upset you brought that up. Actually.
God.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
mention.
Punch him.
It's
We're gonna.
This is so
We're gonna have to
great.
fire
I
on
love
you
this
now.
interaction so much.
and it's not a great time. Not a good thing. I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend talking to anybody about that. Okay.
Okay.
I'd recommend you just shutting your lip about that.
This is across the ship, right? Did he board us?
No, this is across the ship. This is across the ship.
So he's literally shouting,
Don't say that.
but he has that tone.
They can be close enough to talk.
Hey, man, I'm real sorry about that. Could I, like, get you a drink or something when we get into port?
You should get me a drink. Absolutely.
Awesome.
I hate this guy.
And you Yeah, you could tell that the Brian Banshee actually did really did kind of like change him. And Ataraxia, you pick up on that maybe a little bit more than anybody else because the note it's actually pretty subtle. Other than being him saying he really doesn't like you bringing it up, but like his mannerisms and like he's looking down a lot more. It's just like, yeah, you should get me a drink.
Why? Do we know why people don't like to talk about it?
I don't think so.
We don't? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember actually, was it Sandara who told us, or was
I'm
it
pretty sure.
Lady Smythe?
I thought it was Sindara.
It was Smythe, wasn't it? I thought it was.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh.
Maybe it was Smythe.
I'm pretty sure he talked to Knuckles and Smythe and got the information.
Yeah.
Was what I thought happened.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that,
what we
dude,
could do.
but yeah, here.
Look, we all have our intent coming. Coming to the Port Ollo, I understand. Just know that if you do continue to cause a ruckus like you've already begun,
This is a ruckus.
that we will have to deal with you. Okay, but if you stay in line, if you are here for goods and for majesty, well, then you've come to the right place, and we can do and talk business. But yeah, so you're free to go as long as you agree to those stipulations, eh?
Absolutely, man. I will walk the rat line straight and narrow, and yeah, if you could actually direct us to your favorite establishment of strong beverages, I would be more than happy to buy you something to make up for my
This
terrible indiscretion.
13-year-old is going to buy him beer.
Yeah, no, that's right on. Yeah.
That's true.
We're pirates, Jake.
Sorry.
We're pirates.
I mean, ideally something stronger than beer.
Baja Blast.
Big silver barb just.
You gotta stop doing that, man.
Got it in like, I imagine he's like got it in his messenger bag or his satchel or whatever, and it like extends outward from him, hits the rail, and shoots him like off into the water.
Not again.
Oh man.
Not cool.
Not cool. No. No. I'll find you. I'll find you. That's what I'll do. Okay.
Awesome. Not
right.
hard to find.
No. We'll keep our eye on you for sure. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Booyah.
All right. Well, you can let go of those ropes now. We need them back.
Cool. And when I let go of the rope, there's a little pouch with some gold coins tied to the end of it.
Oh, how much gold?
10 gold. Why not?
Oh, all right. Sounds good. As first mate Mira Groth pulls the rope back to her, sees the pouch, looks at it, opens it up, cocks her head, gives it to Ratline. Ratline looks at it, and as your ship is like parting ways from each other, the drifting apart, Ratline looks up at you, looks down at the patch, looks up at you, Ataraxia, raises a fist, points at you, and just like has an extended point as he slowly like nods his head back, up and down, up and down.
And I just throw up the satyr horns for respect.
Captain, I can kill him any time you want. I'm there. I'm there for that.
Whoa. Maybe I misread the situation. I was just about to say how much I like that guy.
You can have your... Yep. If that changes, let me know.
I mean, you can still kill him, I suppose, if you want to. My adoration of an NPC has not necessarily prevented their death in the past.
Very true.
Not that we know of.
I need to figure out what type of people Max likes killing and doesn't like killing.
Seriously?
Because mutineers, he didn't want to kill.
Yeah.
But this guy,
like
he's ready
don't
to
like
at a
him.
moment's notice.
I like him.
This guy's too cool.
He's trying.
cool.
He's trying
He's too
too hard
threat.
to be cool. You can't do that.
Listen, you can try and kill us and take over our ship, but I won't kill you. But if you're a poser,
Posers
so help me.
I hate him.
If you got a
That was
soul
the
patch,
first mistake.
I'll admit, I've never seen a soul patch with He-Man hair at the same time. It's not
Just that.
necessarily the best
Just that. He
combination,
needs
if I'm
to
being
die.
honest.
As this conversation goes on, you are free to cast off and go towards the Port of Ollo. And as you do, you get near to the shoreline, right? And there is a lot of action that is happening here. And as you pull up, you hear all manner of goods being sold, from things as common as the catch of the day, to some voices boasting of magic items that never let you die. As there is a magical plume of smoke that explodes in the distance, followed by a cacophony of cheers. It is clear that there is much to discover here. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
I mean, the RP to go so
Let's
long.
go. I'm so
Apologize.
stoked for this port. That was such a cool description, Thomas. I'm so stoked.
Thank you. We are at a port, the biggest port city we've visited in Campaign 2. We probably should have done that before a year into recording this campaign. But we're here. We've got things to explore. I've already shared with our players the magic items they can shop for or upgrade, things for the ship that are possible to upgrade. So they are going to be frantically looking that over here and discovering how much money they can try to squeeze out of me. But as always, Josh, Jacob, Mickey, Ned, thank you for playing. Listeners, thank you for listening as you do each week. You are the reason we keep going. You are the reason why we have so much fun interacting with the fans and the audience. To put it blankly, the reason is you, in the words of Hoopastank. So if you want to continue that interaction that we've got with our current fans or the current people listening in Season 2, you can shoot us an email, icastfireball2020@gmail.com, or you can go to our Patreon-exclusive Discord channels for only $5 a month, patreon.com/icastfireball20, and you can jump into any one of our threads there. We got our DM-only channel. We've got our Zentara Yum channel, where someone just posted all of the fancy international cuisine they're eating on a trip, which made us all very jealous. Or you can jump into our spoilers thread or our conspiracy thread, talking about all of the echoes and shadows of Lieutenant Ignis Halcone, which are very fun, some quite true as well. And it's very fun to see which one, what everybody's thinking about. But go check that out and see if that works for you as well. I want to give a shout out to our sister podcast, Improv Tabletop. They've got a ton of fun stuff they're doing, an ongoing campaign right now in the world of Lego. Is that right, Ned?
That is correct. Imagine you're at a summer camp where everything is made out of Legos, but also crazy spooky stuff is going on.
Everything is awful.
Pretty much. Everything is haunted. And we're just doing our best to make sure that the camp does not get destroyed by terrible monstrous forces.
Yes. So don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. But lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. Oh, also, we are going to be having a ICF meetup in Utah in August 9th. So if that is something that interests you, this is probably going to be like released right around that time, actually, if I recall, Mickey. So go look at our website. Go check it out if it is before August 9th. Yeah, go take a look at that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcone.
Maximus Shans.
Actually, it's General Ignis Halcone, but I'm Ataraxia Kalian.
And I'm Arcanist at Large Buster Bilgewater.
At Large. Well,
I don't remember what he
He's
said.
wanted, people.
let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.